Have you ever thought that the real reason you can't find peace is because you're trying too hard to control your life? Think about it. The more you try to predict everything, the more uncertain it feels. The more you try to fix everything, the more problems appear. It's a cycle that never ends. But what if you could step out of it? Buddhist wisdom teaches that peace is not found in control, but in letting go. In this video, you will discover 6 powerful lessons that can help you release worry, soften control, and return to a calmer, more grounded way of living. Listen slowly. Let the words settle, and allow yourself to breathe again. Lesson 1. Worry is the mind trying to control the uncontrollable. The first thing to understand is simple, but often overlooked. Worry is not the problem itself. Worry is the mind trying to feel safe. When you worry, it may seem like you are preparing for the future. It feels like you are doing something useful, thinking through scenarios, anticipating outcomes, trying to prevent mistakes. But look closely. Most of what you worry about never actually happens. And even when it does, it rarely unfolds the way you imagined. In Buddhism, this is understood clearly. The mind seeks certainty in a world that is inherently uncertain. So it creates stories. It replays conversations. It imagines worst-case outcomes. It tries to solve problems that do not yet exist, not because it is broken, but because it is afraid. Afraid of loss, afraid of not being in control. But here is the quiet truth. Control is an illusion. You can influence your actions. You can choose how you respond, but you cannot control outcomes, timing, or the behavior of others. And when the mind tries to control what cannot be controlled, it creates tension. That tension is what you feel as worry. Instead of asking, "How can I stop worrying?" try asking, "What am I trying to control right now?" You may notice something subtle. You are trying to control how things turn out. You are trying to control how others see you. You are trying to control a future that has not yet arrived. And the more tightly you hold on to that control, the more anxious the mind becomes. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment, especially attachment to outcomes. When you insist that things must happen a certain way, you create resistance against reality, and resistance creates stress. Letting life flow naturally does not mean you stop caring. It means you release the demand that life must obey your expectations. You still act, you still make choices, but you no longer carry the weight of needing everything to go perfectly. Try this gently. The next time you notice worry arising, pause, take a slow breath, and say silently, "I cannot control this fully." Then ask, "What is actually in my control right now?" Bring your attention back to the present moment, to your breath, to your body, to the next small action you can take. Worry lives in the future. Peace lives here. The more you return to what is real, the less power imagined scenarios have over you. Over time, this creates a shift. You begin to trust that life does not need to be forced, that things can unfold without constant mental interference. And in that trust, something softens. Not everything becomes easy, but everything becomes lighter. Lesson 2. Letting go does not mean losing. It means making space. Many people resist the idea of letting go because it feels like giving up, like losing control, like allowing life to drift without direction. But in Buddhist wisdom, letting go is not loss. It is clarity. It is the recognition that holding on too tightly is what creates suffering. Imagine holding a glass of water. If you hold it gently, there is no discomfort. But if you grip it tightly for hours, your hand begins to ache. The weight of the glass has not changed, but your relationship to it has. This is how worry works. It is not always the situation that causes suffering. It is how tightly you are holding on to it. You replay thoughts. You analyze outcomes. You carry the same concern throughout the day, and slowly the mind becomes tired. Letting go does not mean you stop thinking about important things. It means you stop clinging to them. You allow thoughts to arise and pass. You allow uncertainty to exist without trying to eliminate it. This creates space, and space is where peace begins. The Buddha often spoke about the middle way, not suppressing thoughts, not indulging them endlessly, but observing them with awareness. When a worrying thought appears, instead of following it, try this. Notice it. Name it gently. Thinking, then return to your breath. You do not need to argue with the thought. You do not need to solve it immediately. You simply allow it to be there, without giving it control over your attention. At first, this may feel unnatural. The mind is used to engaging with every thought. But over time, something shifts. You begin to see thoughts for what they are, not facts, not predictions, just mental activity, passing through awareness. This is freedom, because when you no longer believe every thought, you are no longer controlled by them. Letting life flow naturally also means trusting timing. There are moments when things do not happen the way you expected. Plans change. People act differently. Opportunities appear or disappear. The mind reacts by tightening, trying to fix, trying to force, but sometimes what feels like delay is actually alignment. Sometimes what feels like loss is space for something new. You may not see it immediately, but life often unfolds in ways the mind cannot predict. When you loosen your grip, you allow life to move. You allow solutions to emerge naturally. You allow yourself to respond instead of react. This does not remove all challenges, but it changes how you meet them. With less resistance, with more clarity, with a quieter mind. Letting go is not about losing control. It is about releasing unnecessary suffering. And in that release, you begin to feel something unexpected. Relief. Lesson 3. Life flows best when you stop forcing it. There is a quiet struggle that many people carry without realizing it. A constant effort to make life happen according to a plan, to push things forward, to force clarity, to speed up outcomes, to make sure everything works out exactly as expected. On the surface, this can look like ambition, responsibility, or discipline. But underneath, there is often tension, a subtle resistance to how things actually are. In Buddhism, this resistance is one of the roots of suffering. Because life does not move according to our timelines, it unfolds in its own rhythm, like seasons changing, like waves rising and falling. When you try to force life, you move against that rhythm, and this creates friction. You may have felt this before. The harder you try to make something happen, the more distant it feels. The more you chase certainty, the more uncertain everything becomes. The more you push for control, the more overwhelmed you feel. This is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because you are moving against the natural flow of life. Letting life flow naturally does not mean becoming passive. It means learning the difference between effort and force. Effort is calm. It is intentional. It is grounded in the present moment. Force is tense. It is urgent. It is driven by fear of what might happen if things do not go your way. You can take action without forcing outcomes. You can move forward without gripping the future. Imagine a river. It does not rush in panic. It does not stop in fear. It flows, sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, but always in alignment with its path. When obstacles appear, it does not fight them aggressively. It moves around them, over them, or waits until the path opens again. There is wisdom in this. Your life is not something you need to push into existence. It is something you participate in. When you relax the need to control every detail, you begin to notice opportunities more clearly. You become more responsive, more aware, less reactive. This is where true clarity arises, not from overthinking, but from presence. The mind often believes that more thinking will create better outcomes, but often more thinking creates more confusion. Clarity doesn't come from forcing answers. It comes from allowing space. You may notice that your best insights come when you are not trying so hard, while walking, while resting, while simply being. This is not accidental. When the mind relaxes, it becomes more receptive, more intuitive, more aligned. The Buddha taught that wisdom arises in a quiet mind, not in a restless one. So instead of asking, "How can I make everything work out?" try asking, "How can I move with what is already unfolding?" This is a subtle shift, but a powerful one. It brings you out of resistance and into cooperation with life. There will still be uncertainty. There will still be moments of doubt. But they no longer control you in the same way. You trust that not everything needs to be solved immediately. You trust that life can unfold without constant pressure. You trust that you can meet whatever comes, when it comes. And in that trust, something changes. The body softens, the breath deepens, the mind becomes quieter. You begin to feel carried instead of constantly pushing. Peace does not come from controlling the flow. It comes from becoming part of it. Lesson 4. The more you resist the present, the more you suffer. There is something simple, yet deeply transformative, that many people overlook. Most suffering is not caused by what is happening. It is caused by resisting what is happening. You may notice this in small moments. You are stuck in traffic, and the mind says, "This shouldn't be happening." You are facing uncertainty, and the mind says, "I need answers now." Something does not go as planned, and the mind says, "This is wrong." These thoughts create friction, not because the situation itself is unbearable, but because of the resistance to it. In Buddhism, this resistance is known as aversion. It is the mind pushing away reality, wanting things to be different from how they are. And this creates a second layer of suffering. The first layer is the situation itself. The second layer is your reaction to it. Often, the second layer is heavier than the first. When you worry, you are often resisting uncertainty. When you feel anxious, you are often resisting not knowing. When you feel tense, you are often resisting the present moment. But what happens if, just for a moment, you stop resisting? Not because you like the situation, not because it is comfortable, but because you choose to meet it as it is. Try this gently. When something feels uncomfortable, pause, take a breath, and say silently, "This is what is here right now." Notice what happens in your body. Notice if there is a slight softening. Resistance tightens, acceptance loosens. Acceptance does not mean approval. It does not mean you agree with everything that is happening. It simply means you stop fighting reality internally. And when you stop fighting, your energy becomes available again. Instead of being consumed by resistance, you can respond more clearly. You can act more wisely. You can choose your next step without panic. The Buddha taught that pain is part of life, but suffering is optional. Suffering is created when we add resistance to pain. When we say, "This should not be happening. This must go away. I cannot handle this." These thoughts create tension. They amplify discomfort. They keep the mind trapped. But when you meet the present moment with openness, something shifts. Even difficult emotions become easier to hold. You may still feel discomfort, but it no longer overwhelms you in the same way. It moves, it changes, it passes, like everything else. This is where the understanding of impermanence becomes important. Everything you experience is temporary. Thoughts, emotions, they arise and they pass. When you resist them, you hold them in place. When you allow them, they move naturally. Worry often comes from trying to escape the present, trying to jump ahead, trying to solve what is not yet here. But life is only ever happening now. And when you return to this moment, worry loses its ground. Because in this moment, most of what you fear does not exist. There is just breath, just sensation, just awareness. Over time, practicing non-resistance changes your relationship with life. You become less reactive, less overwhelmed, more steady. You stop expecting life to be perfect. And because of that, you suffer less when it is not. There is a quiet strength in this, a grounded calm. You are no longer constantly negotiating with reality. You are living it fully as it is. And in that acceptance, there is peace. Lesson 5. Trusting life does not mean you stop acting. There is a misunderstanding that often arises when people hear the phrase, "let life flow naturally." It can sound like passivity, like doing nothing, like giving up responsibility. But this is not what Buddhist wisdom teaches. Letting life flow is not about inaction. It is about aligned action. There is a difference between acting from fear and acting from clarity. When you act from fear, the mind is tense. It rushes, it overthinks, it tries to predict every possible outcome. It seeks reassurance before moving forward. And even after acting, it keeps questioning, was that the right choice? What if something goes wrong? This kind of action drains energy. It keeps you trapped in worry, even while you are doing something. But when you act from clarity, something feels different. There is still effort, there is still movement, but there is no inner struggle. You do what can be done, and then you let go. This is what it means to trust life. You trust your intention, you trust your presence, you trust your ability to respond when needed. You do not need to control every step in advance. The Buddha often emphasized right action, not perfect action, not guaranteed outcomes, but action that is rooted in awareness and wisdom. This means you act with care, you act with attention, but you release attachment to the result. This is where peace becomes possible. Because most of the anxiety in life does not come from action itself. It comes from needing the action to produce a specific outcome. You may notice this in your own life. You send a message, and then you wait anxiously for a reply. You make a decision, and then you replay it in your mind. You take a step forward, but your mind is already worried about what comes next. This is not action. This is attachment, and attachment creates tension. Letting life flow naturally means you complete the action and then return to the present moment. You do not carry it with you. You do not keep reworking it in your mind. You allow it to be done. This creates a sense of lightness, a sense of completion. Over time, this changes how you relate to effort. You no longer feel like you are constantly behind. You no longer feel like you need to get everything right. You begin to trust that doing your best in the present moment is enough. This trust is not blind. It is grounded in experience. You begin to see that life continues to move even when things are uncertain, that solutions appear even when you do not force them. That clarity emerges when you stop overthinking. You also begin to see that not everything needs immediate resolution. Some things unfold over time. Some answers reveal themselves slowly. And when you allow that process, you reduce unnecessary pressure. There is a quiet confidence that grows from this. Not the loud confidence of certainty, but the steady confidence of presence. You know that whatever arises, you will meet it. Not perfectly, but honestly, and that is enough. You also become more attuned to what truly matters. When the mind is not consumed by worry, your attention becomes clearer. You notice where your energy is needed. You notice what feels aligned and what does not. You stop forcing yourself into paths that create constant resistance, and you begin to move more naturally. This is not about avoiding effort. It is about removing struggle from effort. Effort can exist without tension. Action can exist without anxiety. You can care deeply without worrying constantly. This is the middle path, not detachment from life, but freedom within it. So each day, as you move through your responsibilities, try this gentle reminder: I will do what I can, and I will let go of what I cannot control. Say it quietly, not as a rule, but as an invitation, and notice how it feels in your body. Notice how it changes your breath, your pace, your mind. This is how trust is built, not all at once, but moment by moment, action by action. Letting go does not take away your power, it reveals it. Because your true power is not in controlling life, it is in how you meet it. Lesson 6. Peace comes when you stop arguing with life. There is a subtle habit that creates much of the inner tension people carry. A quiet, ongoing argument with life. It does not always appear as obvious frustration. Sometimes it is softer, more hidden. It sounds like, "This shouldn't be happening. I didn't expect things to turn out this way. Why is this so difficult? When will things finally feel right?" These thoughts seem natural, almost automatic, but they create a constant sense of dissatisfaction because they place your peace in a condition. Life must be different for me to feel okay. And since life is always changing, always unpredictable, this condition is rarely met. So the mind continues to argue, continues to resist, continues to search for a version of reality that feels more comfortable. But peace does not come from winning this argument, because it cannot be won. Life will not adjust itself to match every expectation. Things will go differently than planned. People will act in ways you do not understand. Situations will unfold in ways you did not choose. This is not a mistake. It is the nature of existence. In Buddhism, this is understood as the way things are, not something to fix, but something to see clearly. When you stop arguing with life, something shifts. You stop demanding that every moment meet your preferences. You stop expecting certainty in an uncertain world. You stop needing everything to feel easy. And in that release, there is space. Space to breathe, space to respond, space to experience life more fully. This does not mean you become indifferent. You still care, you still feel, you still act when needed, but you no longer carry the extra burden of resistance. You no longer add tension to what is already present. Try to notice this in small moments. When something minor goes wrong, when plans change, when someone says something unexpected, instead of reacting immediately, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, am I adding resistance to this? Just that question can create awareness, and awareness creates choice. You may still feel frustration, that is natural, but you do not have to build a story around it. You do not have to let it expand. You can feel it and let it pass. This is how peace grows, not by eliminating all discomfort, but by changing your relationship to it. Over time, you begin to notice something surprising. Life feels lighter, not because it has become easier, but because you are no longer carrying unnecessary weight. You are no longer fighting every moment that does not meet your expectations. You are allowing more, resisting less, and this creates a quiet sense of freedom. You also begin to experience more presence, because when you are not mentally arguing with reality, your attention returns to what is actually happening, to this moment, to this breath, to this experience. Life becomes more vivid, more direct, more real. You notice small things more deeply, a conversation, a sound, a moment of stillness. These are the moments that worry often takes away, because worry pulls you into imagined futures. But when you stop arguing with life, you return to what is here, and what is here is often enough. This does not mean every moment feels perfect, but it means every moment becomes livable, and that is where peace begins. You also become more compassionate toward yourself, toward others, because you see more clearly that everyone is navigating uncertainty. Everyone is facing challenges you may not see. Everyone is trying in their own way to find stability. This understanding softens judgment. It creates connection, and connection brings ease. As you move into each day, carry this quiet reminder. Life does not need to be different for me to be at peace. Let those words settle. Let them soften the mind. You may not fully believe them at first. That is okay. Just hold them gently. Return to them when resistance arises. Over time, they become less like words and more like truth. And in that truth, there is something deeply freeing. You are no longer waiting for life to become perfect. You are living it as it is, and that is enough. As you move forward, remember this gently. Peace is not something you find by controlling life. It is something you allow by letting go of the need to control it. Worry may still arise. Uncertainty will still appear. But you now have another way to meet them, with awareness, with softness, with trust. You do not need to figure everything out today. You only need to return to this moment. If this reflection brought you a sense of calm, let it stay with you. And when tomorrow begins, begin again. More gently, more present. Let life flow, and let yourself flow with it.